Hi, everyone. Great to be here with you all. And I'm here to tell you about Elsight, the ASX ELS. I'm coming from communication background. So we are dealing with highly reliable communication solutions. And in the last 5 years, we're focused on the uncrewed industry, which include aerial vehicles, aka drones, ground robotics, maritime robotics, and any other critical mission device that needs to be reliably connected with the operator or with control rooms. What happens to us in the last 12 months is that we're going through a massive growth in revenue, grew the revenue in more than 1,000% to in 2025 from the numbers we just released recently in some of our announcements. We'll get to at least $23 million in revenue, coming from $2 million previous years, and we're seeing massive growth. And I would like to take you through our story in this presentation. So, starting with the highlight and where we at today, we are, like I said, providing highly reliable communication for BVLOS solution, beyond visual line of sight platforms. We are uniquely positioned in the market from technology perspective and what we're offering to our customers today. And that's what's driving this massive growth that we're experiencing. The numbers here on the presentations are not accurate. As you can see, this is just from July. Their number is this $16 million became more than $23 million. The revenue that we have recently announced, we already passed the $11 million in recognized revenue. And the total backlog that we have for the year, for calendar year 2025, is more than $12 million that will be booked or will be recognized this year. In terms of financial strengths of the company, we are already cash flow positive. We also declared that we're going to get to profitability in calendar year 2025. We recently had a funding round of $40 million or 60 million Australian dollars, which set us with everything we need to accelerate this growth and investing more in marketing and sales and new product lines that we are going to introduce in 2026 calendar year. In terms of pipeline and looking on future growth, we did have a massive growth on the past couple of months, but we are seeing a bigger growth coming in the future, or what's coming next, with $150 million, again, all US dollars in pipeline opportunities in different stages that we are starting to convert and to mature as we work with those different customers, both new customers and existing customers. From business model perspective, and I'll go through the business model, but overall, we are looking on highly profitable business of around an average of 80% gross margin in every sales that we're doing, which include one-time sales of hardware and also recurrent revenue coming from the software pieces that we're adding to every system that has been sold. And looking in the next 18, 24 months, we are expecting most of the revenue to come from defense and homeland security markets because of what we're currently seeing in the market, and because of everything going on today with uncrewed systems. We are seeing a surge demand there, while we are also holding the commercial market and having a lot of customers in the commercial market for last mile logistics, for agriculture, for different type of use cases that are being used in the commercial. Seeing the numbers on the chart, so you can see this massive jump in the revenue, that we did have nice revenue growth, but in small numbers over the last 5 years. Then in 2025, again, these numbers are outdated because we are constantly shipping more units to customers of today on a monthly basis. So this number here in the top now is $23 million. It's all US. This number here in the blue, that's more than $11 million of revenue that we already recognize. And same here, the numbers of the operating cash flow, and as I said, becoming cash flow positive and starting generating cash, and doing it by having a very profitable business model and growing top line of revenue and keeping those gross margins as we scale and moving to multi-million dollars contract. That's basically what we're doing. So why it's happened now, why now, and why us, why Elsight? I'll start from a macro perspective on the market of what we're seeing currently in defense in general all over the world. I chose here to put NATO countries and how their defense spend look like since 2014, how it's estimated to be looked in 2024, and also how the future is growing their defense budget from 2% to around 5% of what NATO countries signed off on a couple of months ago. And that's not a conflict dependent. So many people think that a lot of this industry is dependent on active conflicts. The fact of the matter is that we are seeing those trends of different governments equipping themselves with a lot of capabilities, let's call it, from different type of assets that they're putting into their warehouses and into their defense departments, let's call it. So that's a long process, and it's not something that is dependent on this conflict or another conflict. We are seeing those trends happening, and we are seeing a lot of programs that are starting to be in countries which are not in active conflict, and those contracts and those programs are growing and growing. And we are, and another super interesting kind of trends that we're seeing is not only that the budgets are going up, but also the amount that's allocated into uncrewed systems for various reasons growing dramatically. For example, in the US, from the big beautiful bill, 10% of the additional budgets there is solely allocated for uncrewed systems. And that's exactly where we're playing, and that's why we are in the middle of this perfect storm. Like I said before, we are constantly looking and investing also in the commercial market, which will be for the medium long term. But as of now, it seems like the defense market taking most of the business in this sector. So why Elsight? Why now? Like I said before, and what is special about us? So our product, our signature product called the Halo. Basically, what we're provided, as I said before, we are providing superior connectivity. So the challenge is when those platforms, whether they are in the air, on the ground, or overseas, needs to be remote controlled or remote monitored. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about, again, commercial application or defense application, communication and wireless communication, it's a big issue. So the need is for continuous, robust, secured communication link that will be able to constantly work all the time as long as those platforms are traveling around. And we came with a product called the Halo, which is a combination of hardware and software. Basically, the idea is to combine all the available spectrum and networks available around the platforms, which include satellite communication, point-to-point communication, cellular, public, and private communication. And we make all of these into one big, thick pipeline of data that data can be delivered from one end to the other. Just to give you a sense of feeling, today we have more than 450,000 flight hours in different parts of the world, in different use cases, in the most harsh and contested environment. It's battlefield proven and also commercially proven. So today it's about scale and how we take the experience we have from working with more than 100 different customers around the world and bringing it into new customers, and also going with existing customers and growing their fleets of drones or their programs. So all of it together create just the perfect storm for us of basically going into the market, having this massive opportunity in front of us. And as I said, the bigger opportunity is in front of us. Even though we already grew the revenue by 1,000%, we're still seeing these trends continue both on the top line, growing our pipeline, and as a result of that, the revenue, but also providing more features, more capabilities, enhancing our profitability even more than the 80% that I mentioned before, to be able to go to the market with new offering and new product lines and new technologies that solves different problems. So looking forward, our current main investment is in sales and marketing, opening offices both in North America and Europe. That's where we see the biggest surge in demand and in terms of the market dynamics. We're going to have, by the end of this year, we're going to have boots on the ground both in the US and a couple of countries in Europe. The idea is to both accelerate the conversion of the existing pipeline of $150 million and also create net new opportunities by being on the ground, being much closer to the industry, and being able to execute more leads basically coming from customers. As I said, that's we're talking about hardware software solution. So I assume you guys have a lot of questions around manufacturing capability and capacity and so on. I would say that today we're using contract manufacturers. We designed a product to be very easy to be manufactured, so that can be done in any contract manufacturer around the world. Today we have 3 different contract manufacturers with manufacturing capacity of $70 million. Part of the announcement we have made recently is that before the end of this year, we will have another contract manufacturer in one of NATO countries to be certified basically with NATO manufacturing, and that will increase the capacity for $150 million per annum in hardware production. So everything relates to production lines and supply chains. We are in a very, very comfort situation of being able to provide the entire pipeline, and more than that, and opening new capacity or increasing the capacity. It's pretty easy process for us as we're using only contract manufacturers. It's not very cash intense. It's very little investment from our side, so it makes it very, very efficient again to increase this capacity as we're seeing it. So last but not least, I want to talk about the key targets that we hit in the last 12, 18 months of getting the revenue from low millions, single millions of dollars to tens of millions of dollars. And again, we're seeing these trends only continue by both with the existing hardware and products that we have offering to customers, and also with the new offering that we're going to have. We are seeing a super exciting moment in time for the company and to become a much bigger organization, not necessarily in headcount, but in the actual results that we're putting. And we are in the bottom line, we're checking ourselves on the bottom line and what are the net profits and earnings we are generating for shareholders, and we are seeing these trends continue moving forward. And I think it's super interesting point in time to be part of Elsight journey as we scale our business and going through massive growth opportunity. Thank you very much, everyone, and I hope you'll join the rest of the event.